So, is it Liverpool
to Anfield,
who are sitting on top of the Premier League table still after a 2-1 win over Chelsea? Yeah, I think it's very reminiscent of that performance. I didn't know how hard I was going to come in today because Charlie was giving me this guy on Friday.
It came back to me.
It did. And I'm telling you, you did it to yourself. But I'm just going to bask in the glory of this feeling right now because it's pretty darn good. This was arguably probably the most intriguing matchup of the weekend in the Premier League.
Biggest game, for sure.
Right? And I think for Liverpool, a lot of people, they were on top of the table, but everyone was like, and even Arne Slot said, we need to play some really good teams because the schedule at that point had been, I don't want to say easy because
it was kind.
Yeah,
but it was a softer schedule.
Sure. And so playing a Chelsea side that looks invigorated and suddenly very organized and just tons of talent out there felt like a really good test. And for the first 25 minutes of this match, I was sweating a little because Chelsea looked really, really good. Liverpool they couldn't hang on to the ball. They had no answers for it. And then it just, there we go. That was the kind of moment where the momentum changed. So Curtis Jones does really well to draw the pen, and then Mo Salah doing what he does.
And this Nicholas Jackson, well-timed run, and the finish too. This is the difference between last season and this season.
Yeah.
Normally last year he just blasted at keeper, he misses the goal. This was a common, cool finish.
Unbelievable from Mo Salah. What
finish.
a ball, what a ball, what a finish from Curtis Jones. Absolutely staggering. Mo Salah has now a goal and an assist in 34 Premier League matches. Only Wayne Rooney has more with 36, and he did it in like 200 plus games. I mean, Mo has done it far quicker than Wayne Rooney did. But I think for me, watching this performance, what I was so encouraged by was the defensive effort of Liverpool. They looked so organized getting back and just able to get back into their shape and stay composed. They never looked like they were panicking, even when Chelsea was threatening. And I'll tell you what, when guys like Trent Alexander-Arnold are starting to defend, and Mo Salah is defending, and Darwin Núñez is defending, that just bodes incredibly well. I was so impressed with that. And so for me, that's how they won this match.
On the flip side, because obviously Liverpool, ton of credit, the way that I think they didn't let their emotions get the better of them. Being at home and the pressure, all of a sudden Chelsea equalizes. It could have gone, sideways. But
either way, it was a competitive game.
It was a great
I was going to say, are you impressed with Chelsea, given the average age is 24, the youngest team in the Premier League, the way that they're playing? And they didn't take the approach of, we're in Anfield, we're going to sit back.
We're not questioning a little bit that they're home and sitting back, giving up so much possession. It's not typical of what we've seen from Liverpool.
But Chelsea didn't sit back.
No, Liverpool did.
I know, but isn't that, I think, a step forward for Chelsea fans?
I thought Chelsea was very impressive in
Chelsea
this game.
was great. Here's what I think we learned, though, was that and they said it after in the post-match, Tim Howard said it as well. To me, Liverpool, it's that's a title contender. Chelsea could be. I mean, I feel like top four is entirely reasonable for this side, but it still feels like there's maybe just a little bit more work to do with them because they're young. The
goalkeeper situation is a little iffy.
It's still kind of coming together.
Yeah.
But think about the way the narrative has changed around Chelsea and how we were speaking about them. Even at the beginning of the season, it was chaos. They had all these players. What was it going to look like? How are they?
The identity.
Yeah, no identity.
Manager group.
Enzo's done a tremendous job.
He's done an incredible job. He's done an absolutely incredible
Nico doesn't
job.
agree?
No, I do. I do. All credit to them. I think if Chelsea would have walked away with a draw from this game, it probably would have been deserved. And it probably would have been a scoreline that you say, yeah, that's what we saw on the pitch. But the reason why we go on to say Liverpool's a contender for the title, it's because you see out a game like this. And maybe, you need to stay behind the ball a little bit. And Chelsea's pushing forward in the last moments of the game to try to get that equalizer. And you contain them. Curtis Jones, not only offensively, he was extraordinary. He kept Cole Palmer pretty quiet. And Arne Slot had mentioned that in the post-game press conference. He did a really good job, and the whole irony of the situation is, if we weren't coming off of an international break,
McAllister
Alexis McAllister would be playing in that
100%.
position. And he was sensational. But not to take any credit away from Chelsea, because you look at the loss and you say, all right, Liverpool got the best of Chelsea. Chelsea were pretty good. And to Maresca's credit, I really like Moises Caicedo. He made things happen a lot. Chelsea are going in the right direction. It can't always just be Cole Palmer, case in point, yesterday. So they're going in the right direction. And this loss, I'm confident that this loss isn't going to bring them down.
No. And I like Lavia Caicedo together. That brings up a lot of questions. Your captain Enzo Fernandez not playing in probably one of the biggest matches.
He didn't
of the
play
season.
because of the international.
Right.
Sure, but also Lavia and Caicedo look good together.
But you could similarly make the same argument with Caicedo, right? Mm-hmm. He's coming from South America. Yeah. But I get what you're saying.
He's not going to play two of those players. That
Right.
Sure.
And but for Chelsea, I think the same issue is the center backs. The defensive pairing of the two center backs have not been as strong as they need to be for Chelsea to compete for a Premier League. And I do think, because they are young, yes, they're great, but they probably need some more experience at this level to compete for a Premier League title. And Cole Palmer as well, he's still growing. You can see in the big matches, he's had some great performances. I think that match against Manchester United last season where he came up to life at the last 10 minutes of the match to win the game. But in this one, at Anfield, that's where you need Cole Palmer to shine.
Now, and he was nondescript. He was wearing a green screen shirt like you. I couldn't see him out there. Where are you? I think for the most part, I agree with you. Top four. I don't think Chelsea's competing for the title. I think it's a three-horse race. But Chelsea is at the point now where last season we would have said if they get into any European spot, they're lucky. Yeah. Look at how they're playing. Right now, top four seems like that's theirs. That's theirs. There's a couple of teams that could compete with them for top four, but if they don't finish in fourth place, I think that ask a lot of questions of what happened. I agree with you. I think the back line and the goalkeeper need to be figured out. Well, this is why you have a stable of 44 players, right? Can you pick someone that's not on the squad that right now that maybe could help compete for a little bit better in that back line? Maybe.
And before we move on, I just need to give credit to Slot again. This was the biggest game that he played since, right? Since we've been talking about him just bringing down that rhetoric, he just kept it there.
Yep.
There's a big important schedule ahead of them.
Arsenal next weekend.
We still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, 10 wins out of his first 11 matches in charge of Liverpool, which is
sensational.
Unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. Yep. Feeling good.